Welcome to Naveen Tech Hub.
Have you ever wondered how an app like Uber can show you your location, find a driver, and process your payment all on one screen without a hitch? Well, the magic behind that is often an unsung hero called an API gateway. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this really crucial piece of modern tech. Okay, so why do we even need a gateway in the first place? To get that, we really have to look at how building software has totally changed. It's a story of moving from one giant single application to, well, a whole collection of tiny specialized ones. And this journey is a classic case of solving one problem only to create a brand new one. So let's start with the old way of doing things, the monolith. So on one side, you've got the monolith. Think of it as this one giant tangled block of code where everything from user profiles to payments is all mixed together. But on the other side, you've got the modern way, microservices. This is where companies like Netflix break that big block into small, independent services that each do just one thing and do it really well. And look, let's be clear. When you're just starting out, a monolith is often the right choice. It's simple to develop, it's easy to test, and you can get your product out the door fast. You just start building. But as that application gets bigger, the monolith turns into a monster. A tiny bug fix in one little feature can accidentally break something completely unrelated. And what if just one part, say the payment processing, gets super busy? You have to scale the entire app, and that just wastes a ton of money and resources. And that's exactly what led to the rise of microservices. Instead of one giant code base, you now have a dedicated user service, an order service, a product service. You get the picture. Each one can be updated, deployed, and scaled all on its own. But here's the twist. Splitting everything up solved that scaling problem. But you guessed it, it introduced a totally new kind of chaos. So you might be thinking, great, smaller pieces, easier to manage, problem solved. But is that really what happens? The reality is, when you go from managing one big thing to managing like 100 tiny things, you've just traded one set of problems for another. Okay, put yourself in the shoes of a mobile app developer for a second. Suddenly, your app has this massive burden. It needs to know the exact address of every single service, it has to figure out security for each one, and just to show a single screen, it might have to make 5 different network calls and then somehow stitch all that data together. It is a recipe for a slow, buggy, and insecure app. And this, right here, is where our main character, the API gateway, makes its grand entrance. It is designed specifically to manage all this microservice chaos. So here's the big idea. Instead of your app talking to dozens of different services, it now talks to just one place, the API gateway. You can think of it as the single official front door for your entire system. And this one change, it changes everything. We go from that chaos on the left, a tangled mess of connections, to the clean, orderly system on the right. The client makes one request, and the gateway handles all that messy internal complexity. So what does this gateway actually do? It's not just some simple mailman just passing messages along. No, it has several really critical jobs that make life so much easier for developers. You know, the gateway wears a lot of hats. It's a traffic cop directing every request to the right service. It's a security guard checking everyone's ID at the door. It's a bouncer stopping troublemakers from overwhelming the system. And it's even a bit of a librarian caching frequently requested data so you don't have to fetch it over and over again. At its most basic, it's all about routing. The gateway looks at an incoming request, say API/users/123, and it just knows, yep, that one needs to go to the user service. It's basically a smart switchboard for your entire backend. It also protects all your services by acting as a bouncer. This is called rate limiting. It makes sure that a single user, or maybe a buggy script, can't just flood your system with thousands of requests and bring the whole thing crashing down. But here is where it gets really powerful, especially for mobile apps. The gateway can take one simple request from your phone and then go gather data from multiple services on the back end, combining it all into a single, neat response. This is a total game changer for performance. So think about a dashboard screen. Instead of the mobile app making one request for your profile, then another for your recent orders, it just makes one single request to the gateway. Then the gateway does all the heavy lifting, calling the other services and stitching the data together. For you, the user, the app just feels so much faster, and it even saves your battery and data plan.
Okay, so this is all a pretty neat piece of tech, but why does it really matter? Why is this a core concept for anyone who's building or even just trying to understand modern software?
Well, as this quote points out, understanding patterns like the API gateway is what separates building a simple app from architecting a massive, scalable system. It's a shift to thinking on a system level, which is exactly why this is such a hot topic in top tech interviews today.
So let's just bring it all home. At the end of the day, the API gateway is the pattern that brings order to the chaos of microservices. It simplifies your app, it centralizes all those critical jobs like security, and it makes the entire system more secure, more efficient, and a whole lot easier to manage.
So the next time you're using some complex app, just remember that silent guardian at the gate. Every modern application has a front door, and the API gateway is the key to making sure it's not just open for business, but also safe, fast, and reliable.